So good afternoon. We're in section 3.3, solving equations with addition and subtraction. And we're going to try something new, actually. This is from the book, and it's Mimeo software, which would normally go with a big whiteboard, but we're going to try it for recording our videos. And it comes directly from the book, so it looks a lot like the book. So the book talks about key ideas being addition properties of equality and subtraction properties of equality. So those are in the book, and it means that if A is equal to B, in other words, they're the same value, then A plus C is equal to B plus C. In other words, if you add them both to the same sides, then they're equal. Same with down here with subtraction. If you subtract C from both sides, and it's still it remains an equality. So basically it's just saying if you do something to one side, you have to do it to the other side to keep it balanced. All right, so let's get into this. I don't know how to make it go to the next page. There we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about solving equations. And I talked a little bit in class about being really, really picky about how we solve this. So yesterday when we were playing with the algebra tiles, my thing seems to have stopped moving. When we were talking about the algebra tiles, we had the large X, which was positive, and then we had 5 small tiles that were all negative to represent X minus 5. And those were equal to 1 small tile. Now, in order to get X isolated by itself, we added 5 positive tiles. And these became 0 pairs. And you were left isolating X by itself. And then if you added something to one side of our equality, we have to add it to the other side. So these are 5 positive tiles. So these all crossed out, and we were left just with the X. And this crossed out, and we were left with the, let me erase that so it doesn't look like it's a negative. We were left with these 4 positive tiles. So X is equal to 4. And we kind of know that, because we can say X minus 5 is equal to negative 1. So today we're going to talk about how to do that in math, instead of having little tiles all over our desk, because when mathematicians do math, they don't have tiles. They might use tiles to represent stuff, but normally they just do it on paper. So if we have X subtract 5, we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to add 5 to that side. And we know if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side of the equation. Now, you're going to have to show your work on the homework. And it has to look something like this. It has to have the 5s lining up, and it has to have the constants lining up on this side. You'll understand when we get into two-step equations why it has to be precise like this. So X subtract 5 plus 5, the 5s cancel each other out, so we're left with X is equal to negative 1 plus 5 is negative 4. So X is equal to positive 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. And if we use that and go back, we can say 4 minus 5 is equal to negative 1. And we know that to be true. All right, let's try it on another one. If we have X plus 3 is equal to 5. So if that's positive 3, we're adding 3, we're going to subtract it because we're going to do the opposite. So if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So X plus 3 subtract 3 leaves us X isolated because those 2 cancel out, they become 0. 5 subtract 3 is 2, so X is equal to 2. And again, we know that's true because 2 plus 3 is 5. That we've known for a long time. So let's try a couple on your own. So pause me and try these by yourself, and then come back and see what you get. Okay, welcome back. So here, I hope you tried these and found these not so hard. So here's P subtract 5 is equal to negative 2. Well, we do the opposite of subtracting. We add 5 to both sides. So we get P, because negative 5 plus 5 is 0. So P is equal to negative 2 plus 5, which gives us 3. And if I substitute 3 back in there and I say 3 subtract 5, we know that is negative 2. So here's another one. A plus 4 is equal to negative 1. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides because we added 4 here, so we're going to subtract it here. And negative 4, we're going to draw a line. So the 4's cancel out. We have A is equal to negative 1 plus a negative 4 is negative 5. And we know if we take negative 5 and plug it in here, negative 5 plus 4 is equal to negative 1, so we know it's right. All right, here we're going to try some decimals. So if we added 13.2 on this side, if we added 13.2, we're going to subtract it. Same on this side. So W is equal to, well, I think we're going to have to rewrite that because 10 and 4/10 subtract 13 and 2/10 really doesn't work. So we need to put the 13.2 on the top because it has the largest absolute value, and 10.4 on the bottom. And we're going to borrow. 4 subtract 12 is 8, and 2. So it's 2.8, except the negative 13 has the largest absolute value, so we know that this is negative. So W is equal to negative 2.8. Well, I hope you did okay on those. Let's now try some word problems. A company has a profit of $750 this week. This profit is $900 more than the profit P last week. Which equation can be used to find P? Well, let's write down what we know. We know that the profit this week is $750 this week. Okay. And we know that the profit is $900 more than last week. Well, so if we're going to say more than, we know that that's addition. So which equation looks like this? So we know we have $750, so equals 750. And more is addition. So the answer is going to be 750 is equal to P plus 900. And when we solve this, actually it turns out that this is a negative number. So they really weren't making much profit last week. They were actually losing money. But that kind of makes sense from what we looked at from the word problem itself. If the profit was $750 this week, and that's $900 more than the profit last week, 900 is more than 750, so you know that they were losing money last week. All right, why don't you try one of these on your own? So a company has a profit of $120.50 today. This profit is $145.25 less than the profit yesterday. Write an equation that can be used to find P. So why don't you try that on your own and come back and see how you do. So hi, welcome back. So let's write down what we know. We know that the profit is $120.50 today. We know that the profit is $145.25 less than yesterday. Okay, so we know that we end up with $120.50. We know that is what we are looking to find how we created. Less than, that's subtraction. So we know that the profit is P, subtract 145.25. So that's how we write that equation to represent P. Well, I hope this helps. I will see you tomorrow in class.